in the meantime, we've got a deck that a lot of people have been clamoring about. There's been a lot of buzz in the chat about this Mardu Burn in Texas deck. This is a deck that we accidentally registered in the challenge on Monday, meant to play it in the league. We with 1 and 2, but our 2 losses were very close, and I think this is one that deserves some on stream love and attention. The kind of idea is that May Scornful Striker is an interesting, very interesting aggro slash burn card. 2/2 first strike. Whenever a player casts a non-creature spell, they lose 2 life. And so I just kind of had the idea. So one thing, kind of simply, right, is if you have this ability, you want to be playing an aggro deck that's playing a lot more creatures. So this is way more creature heavy build of burn than you would normally see. We're playing Ragavan and Cecil and Goblin guys, so 12 1-drops. We have Eidolon, May, Bowmaster, so 12 2-mana creatures, and then we also have Phlage as like a creature burn spell too. So I had the idea too, of course, to just kind of stack these punishing effects. So we have May, we have Eidolon, we have Roiling Vortex, and I guess you could also call Bowmaster kind of a taxing effect. Very, very good against like Affinity. Very good against the Riddler decks, and I think just kind of good against Boros, just not really too bad in most matchups. And I also really like that building the deck this way lets you play like longer, grindier games if you need to, while still having like a pretty solid burn game plan. Being able to play 4 Phlage in the main deck with Arena of Glory alongside Searing Blaze and Bowmaster in the sideboard, extra searing effects. I feel like this gives you like a really realistic plan against Boros to actually win games against them, where it feels like more traditional burn does not really work. So I definitely liking the list. I'll say that on this one, I don't think that we have necessarily an aggro deck that is better than Boros or Prowess here. I think you're doing some things better than them. Like the lock pieces feel really nice with how popular Storm has been lately. The Eidolons of the May are like exciting to me against Prowess, against Affinity. So like there's a lot of things to like about this build, but I think that let's even just talk about the deck we're playing in the challenge today. Call the Death Dweller worth it here over one Phlage? I guess is the idea you get to give Death Touch to a Bowmaster. I think that card mostly is just bad, but I would need to hear an argument for what we are even doing with it. Cecil also kind of good against the Boros matchup. I'm happy to be playtesting the Boros matchup here. Bolting a Guide of Souls seems probably the move here. The pile of Fate Stitcher, Pilferer. I'm just gonna bolt main phase so I can read this comment. And Snapping Voidcrawl, because I don't know Voidcrawl. It's infinite mana and draws your whole deck. So we've also been talking about Buried Alive Cauldron with Necrotic Ooze, and then Four Dogs has been digging for the combos. I haven't really started yet. Okay, so Pilferer lets you go tap, add colorless, and then the Cauldron fixes for the mana, and then you get to make infinite mana, and then you get to infinite card draw. Okay. There's also hold on. Searing Blaze seems fine here. Getting on board also seems fine here. Okay, I think let's go ahead and lock in the Searing Blaze. Obviously, denying them the life gain off the guide is important. Also, I think just not playing creatures on turn 2 against Boros is good. So you don't just give them the free Phlage value. Karunka with the 17 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Would have been nice to win on the play here. So yeah, that's interesting. There was also a Scourge Familiar, and then the demon that lets you spend 3 black mana, draw 7. But whenever you draw 7, all the cards get exiled, but then you spend another black mana to put those cards in your hand, and you combine that with hold on, let's see this. I guess we go Cecil plus Eidolon here. Obviously, Johnny is a big problemo. I think it makes sense to be playing a pair of summoning sick creatures and not attacking to the Johnny. Yes, so that combo is kind of interesting to me because all the cards are black. When you compare this to Pilferer and Snapping Voidcrawl, which I'm gonna go ahead and save as well, because I'm gonna spend some time on this weekend working on the Buried Alive stuff. But it's interesting to me that Necrotic Ooze, Buried Alive, Scourge Familiar, and this Demon are all black cards, so you could potentially lean into that a little bit. Interesting attack. Let's see if I don't know if they have another cat or not. I'm gonna take 2. They surveil. It'd be nice if we could surveil Phlage into the yard this game. Give them a taste of their own medicine. They do keep a card on top. It's an Ocelot Pride. They lose 2 life. That's a pretty nice pickup. So if I cast all of these, I take 6 damage and I go down to 6 life. We could use the Arena to haste the Ragavan without dashing, but that would mean that if I surveil Phlage into the yard, I can't Arena of Glory it. I think that that's probably okay. I could maybe just draw a Phlage. To me, it is looking like what I want to do is... Oh, so I guess I don't want to attack with the Ragavan. I don't want to attack with Ragavan this turn because they just have the Ocelot Pride block, of course. So I think we're just going to cast the Goblin Guide. They don't have a land on top because they surveilled a spell to the top here. Attack for 4. And then bolt the Ajani after they block with the Ocelot Pride. There's another Ocelot Pride on top. Bolt Ocelot might be the play. Bolt Ocelot, flip Ajani, try to attack the Ajani. That could work. I think I kind of like this. Very interesting block. All right, so we're both at 8, although now I go down to 6. And I've left the Arena unexerted. They did keep an Ocelot Pride on top, so when they cast it, they're going to go down to 6. And then I'm going to be happy enough to trade Ragavan for Cat, since the 1/1 first striker kind of invalidates the Ragavan. So we'll see if they want to make that attack. Easy mode is Surveil Phlage into the graveyard. Let's see if we get to play on easy mode. Nope. We do draw an Orcish Bowmaster. So I could haste this Orcish Bowmaster, ping the Ocelot Pride so the Ragavan can get in. My opponent will... I'll go down to 3. I'll be able to attack for... I'll be able to put them down to 1 after they trade with Ocelot Pride. Is there a better move? So if I kill the cat instead... Yeah, that doesn't seem better, so let's do this. Maybe it's better to not attack with Eidolon. I think it probably is best to attack with Eidolon, like just putting them to 1. Watch them top deck Phlage. I think we're currently... Oh no, we're down to 3. Well, if we were at 4, we'd be beating a Phlage. Oh, we're also gonna get to hit with the Ragavan here. I guess Ragavan Goblin Guide's kind of a combo. It makes you more likely to hit a spell with Ragavan. We flip a Ragavan. If they go no, so they're going to be able to block the Eidolon and then go to 1. Notably, we could have bolted the Pride last turn and they would have 1 less life. Well, if we bolt the Pride last turn, they flip a Johnny. So let me know if you, because then they would have another cat and they would actually have 2 more life here, right? So we might as well Vigilance the Ragavan. Dead to only Phlage off the top. Dead on board. All right, because we still Ragavan. We wouldn't be dead to just Ragavan anyways, if that's what you're saying. You're saying we're not dead on board, right? Winning game 1 against Boros is awesome. Again, the normal bird formula folds completely to Boros. This formula, however, seems like it can get some work done. I might be interested in like a Wear Tear for Goblin Bombardment. Also could hit a Static Prison. I think I am interested in 1 or 2 Surgicals for their Phlage. I think the first one gets in, and I'm not sure about the other ones. I do think the Maze get out. So that means we probably need to be playing either first Wear Tear or first Surgical. Roiling Vortex to stop life gain is kind of interesting, but it is just kind of like 2 mana, don't do anything on board. So I think that it's probably too slow to draw. I'm going to play 1 Wear Tear over the second Surgical. Yeah, challenge starts at 10 a.m. my time, so like 38 minutes from now. Boros doesn't play Bolt. Yeah, no, Boros Energy plays Galvanic Discharge, Thraben Charm, Static Prison, Phlage as their removal split. They don't usually play any Lightning Bolts. Lightning Bolt has, made its way back into a tier 1 modern deck with with Prowess being really popular. Like it's like that's been really the first time. I guess also Domain Zoo. Like Bolt is like kind of having a little bit of a resurgence right now, but does not see play in Boros almost ever. I have seen people like play 1 or 2 copies, but not very common. All right, my opponent's on a mold of 5. No, I mean they're dead on board, but then we remove their worst draw. I see. Because you thought they were going to draw the Ragavan. Got it. All right, they keep their 5-card hand. We might get to help them out. Come on, buddy, take some Goblin Guide value. They graveyarded a Johnny, so they need a land. So I think with that knowledge and us drawing the Cecil, let's just go and play Cecil here. I've ever built Zoo with Tomio and Riddler, looking for a build. I have not. I guess to me it doesn't sound like that makes a lot of sense to build the deck that way. Tomio and Riddler are grindy card draw spells. Zoo is needs to be like an aggro / tempo deck, in my opinion. But also, you have a vision, right? I want to play Tomio and Riddler in Zoo. It's not like the what the flex spots are is a big secret. You can do it. All right, see if we can help them out here. Nope. They flip an Ocelot Pride, so I guess we're definitely going to hold up the Bowmasters. See if they have a second discharge. They do. They kill the Eidolon. They take 2, and then they take another 2 from the Goblin Guide. So we're in a spot where some lands are good draws, white sources, and then most spells are good draws. Go, my Goblin Guides! We flip over a Wrath Disguise. Probably one of the worst cards that they could draw for them. Alright, let's see if we draw a land for the Searing Blaze. No. So if I let them block a 1/1, and then they take 5, and then they take another one, so 6. Yeah, I think let's go ahead. Okay, if I bolt them and then they take 6. Yeah, I probably just keep the board as clear as possible. Probably overthinking it. They flip a Flooded Strand, so they can go get a basic plains, and then Wrath the Skies, X equals 1, kill both Goblin Guides and the token. Do they really play Thraben Charm? Seems bad if you only have 2 creatures, whatever. Well, Thraben Charm is more than just creature removal, right? It also kills Urza Saga, it kills Spelunking, it exiles graveyards for Goryo's Vengeance, it exiles graveyards for Phlages. It does a lot. Okay, a great start to be 2-0ing Boros with your burn deck. You just have to really rethink the formula of these kind of archetypes, especially when you get a new good tool. No black mana in this hand. I think we are probably still keeping on the draw. We do have the Ragavan maybe to get black mana. It'd be nice to win the die roll here. Is this Boros again? We were on the draw against Boros and we won game 1 last time, although I don't know if that's something we can replicate. I think I may just incept that I'm also playing Boros here. I feel like there's a mono black May creature mid-range deck out there as well. Caesar, Voidwalker, May, Nethergoyf. Nethergoyf is a card that you definitely need to play a lot of non-creatures in your deck for it to be good. But yeah, possibly. I do think we're kind of getting there on the density. So my opponent doesn't have Galvanic Discharge in their hand. At least that's what they're screaming at me with this attack. Also, we got only 16 players joined the challenge. Most people join last minute, but the challenges have been kind of struggling to fire lately. So if you want to play today, that would be awesome. If you want to see your streamer get to play a challenge, join. That would be cool too. I feel like every week I'm really having to push. All right, I've got to turn to a Johnny. I think we have 2 Mays, and we also have a handful of creatures. So I think I'm going to go ahead and play this here, even if they're not the most likely to have non-creatures. Kind of basing on off this legacy deck that shows off sometimes. Yeah. I will say, I feel like Baragoyf is a fraud as someone who has only seen it in play in Cube. I kind of think Baragoyf is a fraud. But I do think these decks are really cool. I would love for them to be good. Alright, so they got 3 cards in their hand. They play a second Ragavan. They play a second Ajani. It's pretty tough. They're probably going to minus the Ajani to kill May, and then we could maybe be bolted. It's nuts. Listen, I don't know. To me, it seems like a 3-mana card that dies to 1-mana removal spells often enough that I think it seems like it could be fraudulent. To an outside observer. 2/2 first strike could hold the board down here. Like that thing is like a three mana Goyf with lifelink, and I don't know how often you get the trigger. Maybe you just get the trigger really often. Yeah, I'm a modern player evaluating a 3-mana creature with no ETB. You know, in Legacy, you know, a lot of times you can get away with playing creatures that otherwise you couldn't. Huh. So they can play Phlage, and I cannot. So they're sacrificing a cat for 2 damage. This means... Yeah, let's get in with our hasty creatures here. Like, the card quality here is really high. I'm going to leave the May backs to block still. That's true. Force of Will lets you untap with things. Not that that deck's playing Force of Will. Oh, there's a Phlage right on top. Well, opponent saves us some time. So we don't get to 2-0 Boros this time. We did get to 2-0 them last game. I think I liked my sideboard plans. Possible. Maybe on the draw, the second Surgical is better than the first Wear Tear. Just like you're more likely to get caught underneath the Phlage. Not a good matchup for May. And yeah, I think this looks good. Can confirm from Timeless, Baragoyf should stun a lot of decks blocking. I mean, I do believe that. My impression from playing a lot of Legacy, but this is like a lot of Legacy like 10 years ago, and a lot of Cube is... I just don't know how important that is. There's not the most attacking and blocking. Didn't Ragavan extra Phlage? No, they're going to block the Ragavan. It's May like my... It's not. I think that usually that's how this name is pronounced, and so, but in the show it's pronounced May. Maybe if M. Night Shyamalan had the privilege of making a sequel to his hit film, The Last Airbender, it may have had a different pronunciation of her name. But in the show, it is distinctly May. For those of you who didn't see the hit film, I think that 2011 hit film, The Last Airbender, M. Night Shyamalan changes the pronunciation of most of the characters' names. And I, the streamer who can't pronounce anything, is saying this too. Alright, they just go for a main phase bolt. So I think I'm supposed to get Blood Crypt here, because I can't cast Phlage if I draw it, but I can cast Cecil or Bowmaster. Which one is better, the Dragon Ball Evolution movie or the Last Airbender movie? Okay, the thing about the Dragon Ball movie is the Dragon Ball movie was not really trying to adapt the source material at all. It was making like a weird teenage kung fu movie that kind of had some overlapping names with characters from Dragon Ball Z. It wasn't a good movie, but again, it also wasn't like pretending like it was trying to adapt a source material. It was just trying to be its own movie with like character names. So I don't know. It's a tough one, but it's a tough answer still. I don't have an answer for you. All right, they flip over a Bowmaster. They're not gonna be able to cast it this turn. They do cast an Ocelot Pride. Thankfully, that does die to my Searing Blaze. Even if I don't draw a land, I would prefer to draw a land, which we do not. I think we got to do this. So they go down to 12, and then I get attack them down for 10. Land would have been awesome to have also played a Ragavan here. I feel like embarrassing bears right now. I swear the show is my. I kind of thought so too. But I did go back after getting corrected, and I found out I was wrong and you're wrong. All right, not a Phlage. So they go down to 7. Maybe they'll discard a Phlage. I feel like they would have cast it if they had it. They discard a Ragavan and the Elegant Parlor. Land would be good. Let's go. So they go down. Yeah, I guess we just win unless they have. Even if they have Wrath Disguise, the dash Ragavan kills them. But they are now Eidolon locked. Then talk with the 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Honestly, I'm still confused with the whole Berenstein Bears thing. You know what's funny? That's kind of the whole point. That's kind of the whole point. Oh, wait. I'd sideboarded like I was on the draw, but I was on the play, and now we're on the draw. Okay, let's go to game 3. Then talk with the 9 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, good to see that they've got Raven Charms in the deck. If we beat Burn or Boros 2 rounds in a row to start off, that'll be a great showing for our build. Obviously, not going to beat it every time, but you just actually can rumble with this deck in a way that you weren't able to before. So they give turn 1 a little bit of a think before passing. That's kind of interesting. So I think I'd rather lead on Cecil if they have discharge, then they're not going to maybe get a land to. All right, just to surveil. Love to see that. Cecil Eidolon kind of a combo. I could like surgical. Maybe I should have surgical Arid Mesa. But if I surgical Arid Mesa, then maybe I get to flip the Cecil this turn. Let's not do that. All right, so I'm at 16. You're at 17. You are 16, going on 17. Okay, interesting that they just took 2 damage. Might be getting flaged. But we have a surgical. They do keep a card on top. Alright, so good to have. Time for you to go to work. It'd be kind of interesting if they like Thraben Charm their own graveyard in response. A little sneak preview of what we find off the Ragavan, I guess. To Johnny, well, would it maybe have been nice to have not attacked with the Goblin Guide to cast that? I think it's just better to cast the Goblin Guide in general there. All right, let's go draw step surgical. Let's see a hand of 3 more Phlages. We can pay for Mana Tithe. All right, no more Phlages in the hand. They do have a Guide of Souls and Seasoned Pyromancer, so they're going to get to gain some life here, unfortunately. Pretty good hand over there. We see that they boarded one of their own surgicals. They have 2 Celestial Purges. They have 3 Thraben Charms and 2 Wrath Disguise, alongside all of the normal nonsense. So it does seem like our plan is to surveil / draw into our own copy of Phlage if we can. Now, if my opponent keeps the Spyro as the last card, then they're going to get to gain less life and not going to really have a good blocker for the Ragavan. So it's kind of an interesting decision point. They do ended up discarding the Seasoned Pyromancer, since this token is worth a good bit here, interestingly enough. I almost don't want to attack with Goblin Guide because I'm afraid of my opponent top decking something. I draw them into a Thraben Charm or the Surgical, but I think I should dismiss those fears and attack. There's a Celestial Purge, but they would have drawn that anyways. Even I would say a good card to know about, right? So then a Celestial Purge, the Sacred Foundry, and then Mystery card. They go and play that tapped. And they play Goblin Bombardment. So I wonder if I'm going to be able to. I wonder if I'm going to be able to put myself in a position where I can like force them to Celestial Purge something besides the Phlage. Let's go ahead and Surveil, so we can better formulate this game plan. Searing Blood is really bad against the Goblin Bombardment, so I think I have to graveyard this. And yeah, I think okay, so the problem with dashing, I guess we can't really dash the Ragavan into the block plus ping. They have a Guide of Souls on top, so their hand's going to be Celestial Purge, Guide of Souls. So it seems like at the very least I'd like to Phlage the Guide of Souls. And they do chump block, since Phlage plus Bolt is just too lethal. Oh, they don't chump block. Okay, well, I mean, I'm okay with that. Thanks to Noshi with a 1-year resub. Glad you're still liking the stream. So they do fly the Elemental token here. I go down to 8. Kind of at 5, you could maybe say. I don't draw a very good card, although I can at least Surgical the Spyros, I guess. So I Phlage, they sack, I don't gain any life, I lose the Phlage. Doesn't seem like a very good turn. Conversely, I can dash the Ragavan. Yeah, I think I go dash Ragavan Surgical Season Pyromancer. And if they end up going block sack, that's fine. And if they sack the Elemental token, that's fine. They might want to not sack the guide. Okay, they have a Lightning Bolt on top. I didn't even see Lightning Bolt in their deck. And I just told a chatter they don't play Lightning Bolt. Alright, so they don't want to block with the Goblin Guide because they think that they can just activate Season Pyromancer potentially, but they won't be able to do that. Oh, I guess, do I want them to draw Lightning Bolt? Wait, no, I don't. I think the answer is just no, but I can't really I can't let them untap. So don't choose this. Now, if they brick on their draw step, they're in a spot where they have to purge the Goblin Guide. Oh yeah, I guess I missed that they had a game 1. They just have 1 bolt. I kind of like it. They draw a spell. It's a second copy of Guide of Souls. So now they can double block the Goblin Guide. So let's see what we draw. Big draw step for us. Another brick. Is it time to trade Phlage for a Celestial Purge? I guess let's go ahead and see what we are drawing next turn. If there's a Bolt or a Phlage, and we'll just get a Phlage them. Brutal. Okay, we know my opponent's last card is a Celestial Purge. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Phlage them. Let's see what the Goblin Guide reveals. But they're gonna double block. They put in a Johnny into their hand. So I guess that means now I have to Phlage the Goblin Guide, or the Guide of Souls. You got to kill a guide. I don't think that that's true. It depends largely on what they're drawing. If they draw a creature, it's so bad for me. Well, they're gonna lose 1 guide here. If they draw like a Ragavan, I guess Ocelot Pride's also really bad for me. Yeah, maybe you're right. Stuff we did end up working out worse. Now I have to because the Ajani is just gonna gain them too much life, and now they're gonna have a Johnny plus bombardment. So this line certainly ended up working out worse. It feels like I Was really hoping to like see a brick on top and then be able to Phlage target them. I don't get to gain the life off the Phlage here, which is tough. This attack was good if there was only one guide. Well, I mean, obviously, I think the decision point is a lot closer than y'all are making it out to be, but maybe I'm wrong. Kill guy before combat so they don't block. Again, there's just like I think probably more than half of the cards we could see off Goblin Guide. I want to target them with Phlage, so I don't know. I just again disagree. Now we probably need to draw a Phlage or at the very least a Lightning Bolt. We're down to 4, basically down to 3. This maybe buys me a turn. That's true. If I kill the guide pre-combat, they just deal 1 damage to the guide. Trespasser's Curse could be a good kind of tax for energy. Yeah, maybe. We could also play Graveyard Trespasser. Alright, so now we're basically at 2, and we just need to draw exactly Phlage next turn. Oh, nah, we're dead. Alright, I'll top decked. 1-1. Both matches against Boros here. The challenge is starting in 12 minutes. We probably have time to do another one. And it does always stink when we have to pivot to something that's not a challenge on Fridays. I'm going to keep this on the play. Yeah, what is a Trespasser's Curse? You read that one. Whenever a creature enchanted player control enters, the player loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. Could be great against like Yogg. It's a thought that counts, Dragon. Uh-oh. Wait, not uh-oh. Our best matchup. Great. I'm glad we joined another round here. Laughs and Eidolon of the Great Revel. Could still die this turn if they have wish for removal. Nope. One time I was playing Gift Storm at a GP against Seth Mansfield, and he apologized for how good his draw was against me. I remember it was like turn 3 and he killed my Baral, and I was at like 5 life with an Eidolon in play, and I only had like 5 cards or something like that, and he apologized. Sorry, I guess I had it, and I'm like, I have outs, and I ended up going I think Ritual, Bolt the Eidolon, play Baral, and I just laid my hand out, and it was 3 Metamorphose, and his eyes got wide, and I was just playing off the top because he was tapped out, and I drew like 3 lands or something. It was really sad, but I felt like such a baller. Let's bring in the surgicals. Let's cut the Phlages, or maybe Bowmasters goes first. Kind of like the idea of bringing in the extra Searing Blaze, something like this. Don't have to put too much thought into it because we're mostly mulliganing for one of our 8 2-mana lock pieces here. Okay, we do have a turn 2 May, and a surgical, so I don't think I can possibly mulligan this. My Ragavan might die, but let's keep. What's my holiday streaming schedule? At the moment, I'm definitely taking the 25th off, and I have sworn to my wife that I will do something Christmas-y with her at some point. So that might happen on the 24th, and if so, I'll take it off. But at the moment I'm probably streaming the 24th, and then we're hosting a New Year's party. Everyone in chat is invited, but I'm gonna try to not be too tired to stream on the first. I'm gonna do my best. All right, they do have a pending, so we may be in a tough shape this game, especially if we don't draw a black source. All right, it's kind of a funny draw. Surgical Prismatic Ending is kind of interesting. Line that turn. Yes, that's true. And then in between Christmas and New Year's, I'm going to be doing a Cube for Charity event where the stream is going to be mostly Cube for like 3 days. I guess entirely Cube for 3 days. And then the streams will be long too, as I will try to grind for my team. I don't know. I think I actually just was supposed to Surgical Prismatic Ending. I don't know why I'm getting like really cute trying to disrupt the combo with it. So let's go and rectify that mistake now. Who is my team? I'm pretty sure I'm on Caleb's team. Maybe I'm on Jim's. I don't know. I actually don't know. I don't know. Yeah, rest in peace, Jay, bro. All right. Yeah, they're gonna need to wish or grape shot to get out of this. They do have a wish in their hand. Wait, could they not have? They could also flip Rao and kill May. Right. Looks like there's 46 out of 64 players. If anybody wants to join, you got 5 minutes left. Probably will fire. Do I want to qualify for the Pro Tour? I do want to qualify for the Pro Tour. I took this last year mostly off with several projects and my wedding I'm doing, or did. Now I still have all of the same projects going on, and they're all kind of ramping up. But I'm gonna be playing some. I'm gonna be playing some more events, as well as potentially playing more showcases on Magic Online this upcoming year. I haven't queued for a Pro Tour since BT Barcelona, but I also have like mostly just taken a lot of time off from. Okay, if they lose this flip or the next one, they should just be dead. Oh, but they won this flip. Yeah, I've taken a lot of time off from competitive play and just been focused on the brewing, but I do think this year I'll play some. I think that as far as like, wait, they plus the Rao? So they're just going to grape shot, I guess. As far as like my attitude for competitive Magic goes, is that, I understand that, the best way to succeed is to, pick a deck for a tournament, grind that deck for a few weeks, keep the tech secret, test with the team, and do your, and then go to a lot of events. And this structure is really not cohesive to how I enjoy structuring the stream, which is very focused on this spider web of modern ideas that we're trying to maximize and push and continue to find new tech and innovate on it, and not really spend that much time like tuning and perfecting the build, just kind of putting the ideas out there all the time. So, I'll say that the being the competitive brew channel is a lot more fun for me than being like the competitive grinder guy that I used to be. But I still view competitive Magic and hopeful Pro Tour qualification as a big hobby of mine and something that I would like to do again. All right, on the draw. Soul Trader with Rumble. Yeah, so, to build this, you do have to think that Rumble is better than Overlord. I'm of the opinion Overlord is better because I hardcast it a lot. But yeah, you just do have to think the other way around. Oh, might be playing Vivi Cauldron here. But I might be, like, Rumble obviously is, like, better on turn 2. It, like, curves in the airship better. It's difficult to play both. Also, it does require more of a splash, but you do kind of already want to splash screen anyways. So they discard Quantum Riddler Swamp, so maybe like the Grixis Reanimator deck. They persist a Quantum Riddler. Not a great time to be, on the draw here. Which 2-drop do I want to play? I think I'd like to play May. Kind of would like to get 2 white sources off these. Could be too painful. Seems like the May is best on this board. The Bowmaster should be good maybe a little later. Is there a clear reason why people have preferred Fire Magic over Pyroclasm? I've definitely seen scenarios where either card has upside. I mean, it's kind of tough. Like I really value the ability to play it on turn 1 to kill a Ragavan. In like the VV deck, it was really important too. Like, so it's like killing turn 1 Ragavan just is what you want to be doing really badly in this matchup. Some matchups maybe it doesn't matter as much. When you have more 3 toughness creatures, like when we were playing the VV deck and we had Dragon Rage's Channeler over Gran, we had more three mana creatures, and I think that ended up shining more there. We can attack with the May next turn and then bolt the Riddler if they block it, which is kind of interesting. Have I done anything with Airship and Roots? No. I guess I don't see the vision. All right, so they just take the damage. And I think we'll just pass here. Feels weird that there's green and no Besage. You're talking about this deck? But I mean, it just look at the mana curve. Black 1 drop, black 1 drop, black 2 drop, black 2 drop, black 1 drop, black 1 drop. Like a green source is not free. So I do think you want to think about Fire Magic Pyroclasm when you're building your decks, but it's not super clear cut. Fight instant speed better versus prowess. I think so too, although I think the card is bad against prowess or not good, which isn't exactly the same thing. All right, I do not need a 6 land. If they activate Emperor of Bones here, I don't really mind. Yeah, it's okay. Still have an attack with the maybe. No pun intended. Don't know if I want to take it. I do. I said I did not need a 6 land deck. So I'm at 12. Maybe I do want to attack with the May. Bolt the Emperor if they block it. They will block here. I think. All right, let's not attack with like also the free frog block this turn. It's obviously sucks drawing the 6 land. Do I mean 8th land? Well, I don't think you count the ones you didn't draw, right? You can. I guess you can if you really wanted to complain. Untap Steam Vents to go down to 3 life points. Hardcast a Riddler? Hardcast a Riddler. So this is going to trigger the Bowmaster. Was I not dead to Psychic Frogging? Maybe I was. Right now they can hit me for 6 with the frog. So it seems like their plan is just to Alpha Strike me next turn, so they probably won't attack with Riddler this turn. Okay. Interesting. So we basically have them down to 4. We don't have that many top decks that kill them. Do we have any? I guess a Bolt or a Phlage does, because we... Okay, let me make sure I'm right about that. So we go Phlage, bolt them, they're down to 2. We attack with everything, they're down to 1, and then the Roiling Vortex kills them. I mean, that sounds right to me. So I guess we play around... Oh no, we don't need to worry about Force or Subtlety because we have Roiling Vortex. Close one. Okay, this is a bad play by them since they kind of have to block. They have to not block the Bowmaster, and this means the Bowmaster is going to deal them like 2 extra damage in their draw step. Yeah, very very big mistake for them to have discarded the extra card. That being said, they will never even realize their mistake, I guess, because they just die on the upkeep. All right, so up a game. Let's bring in the Surgicals. Searing Blaze, okay against Emperor, not very good against Frog, but not like the worst ever. Let's get the Vortexes. I think that they don't really play that many 0 drops. I think that's probably, and then also kind of a nombo with the surgical, right? So this looks pretty good, I think. I don't think I want the 4th Blaze. 3 looks like a good number to me. Will we circle back to Trader Airship at some point? Yeah, I think we will. I have an updated version of Yogg Airship that I like, and I want to spend like a whole day just grinding it next week. I wanted to do it this week, but this week ended up being kind of a breakthrough. So I guess I'm kind of saving that just for a day where I hit a brick wall on the bruise. Did they not have lethal last turn if they didn't play Riddler? I don't know. Like the shock on the Riddler was tough. It was a weird game. Close. Magus would be better than May, right? They hardly have non-creatures. They don't hardly have non-creatures. They're like Thoughtseize, Persist, Fatal Push. Sometimes they play Tainted Indulgence, although they might not be playing it in this build. They have cheap counter magic. Their deck's like full of non-creatures. They probably have like 20 plus. And Magus is also like a card I don't usually like to play against decks that can just really easy get 2 basics. Which I think certainly their deck is. Okay, love that this is not a frog. Played Soul Trader Airship with Obsessive Pursuit last night. Pursuit felt worth testing. Okay, that's good feedback because you know, a lot of times when there are new cards like something like Obsessive Pursuit, it's tough for me to uh like it's obviously kind of like a lower tier card. No matter where it ends up, it's not going to be one of the better options from the set. But it might end up being good enough that it's a role player in some decks. And like here we're still like, this is like our first May deck. We're still figuring out Grand. Like we're like a month post release of Avatar and we're still diving really hard into everything. Okay, we want to surgical this so they can't get my Phlage. Their hand is Persist, Archon, Oculus, Quantum Riddler, so they can at least play the Riddler, but the rest of their hand's pretty bad. I guess they're not too far away from card casting the Oculus. Actually. I guess we'll haste the Eidolon too. Not going to be escaping the Phlage next turn. We kindly give them a Bloodstained Mire. I think Obsessive Pursuit is good in the Eldrazi Airship build. Sacking a bunch of spawns is easy, and there are fewer ways to sack permanents that build compared to Soul Trader. Yeah, you also make use of the ability better. I'll look into it. It'll probably be like an off-stream kind of testing thing. The difference between Avatar and Spider-Man are staggering. I agree. I agree. So they're surveilling main phase 1 to see if they find anything for the Persist. They don't. So they probably just warp the Riddler. I think we're going to win this one. I haven't played Earthbender Ascension. It was on my list. It's not one I've gotten to yet. It's one that I think could be a little bit of a sleeper with the Badger Bowl stuff. I have a few other cards like that on the list, like Swampy Fog Visions. They flip over a looting. I think it's gonna be very hard for them to get out of this. They're not, if they play the Oculus, they're not dead on board, but they go to 1, so they can't any longer play any like non-Riddler spell, basically. Do you think they would ever ban Arena of Glory? The card is just so busted. I don't know. I think that there are several cards that make more sense to ban than Arena of Glory if they were ever going to do anything with the modern ban list again, which they haven't seemed super interested in it. And I'll say that like when we're in environments where Wizards is not very interested in doing anything with the ban list, like they haven't done anything for a year and it doesn't seem like anything will happen anytime soon, I try not to really talk or think much about it because it's just like it's just pointless. It's like again, I not everything needs to be an NBA comparison, but it's just like it's just all the daydreamers, the agenda posters. You know, I'm just not trying to agenda post all the time. I'm trying to enjoy what is a good modern format where we're playing Mardu Bird and Taxes right now. We are We beat Boros, lost a close game to the Boros, 2-0, 2-0, 2-0. I don't know. It looks pretty good. Okay, let's see if we have time to play. Okay, we don't have time to finish this league up right now. We'll do it in between next rounds. Can you explain how Grand Fate Stitchers come? It's Grand Cauldron Fate Stitcher. So you need Grand Cauldron, another non-summoning stick creature, or another Fate Stitcher to unearth if you need a haste creature. And you just... So Grand has Fate Stitcher's ability. You untap like the Cauldron or whatever, and then your other creature untaps the Grand. And you untap the creature, untap the Grand, untap the creature, untap the Grand. You can do this infinite times. If you need more mana, you can also, at the end of this loop-de-doop, I guess I'll keep the Phlage with the Arena in hand. At the end of this loop-de-doop, you can untap the Cauldron, and you've looted away VV, and you can Cauldron VV if you need mana. And then you'll also have discarded other Fate Stitchers to untap the Cauldron again. But you actually win the game. The game ends because you will also cast a Marauding Mako. Okay, putting back Bowmaster against Hollow One is kind of unlucky. Although this matchup's probably interesting. So the game actually ends with you finding Cauldron Ballista for either a Marauding Mako that grows each time you do the loop, or you Profs. Profs puts a bunch of counters for Cauldron Ballista. Infinite mana, no outlet. No, you always find an outlet. You always win because you draw your entire deck, the Ballista, and okay, they have a Burning Inquiry. We loot away a Phlage. I think that's okay. They loot away a Goblin Lore. I think I'm gonna get red white and be really in on like Arena Phlage on turn 4 this game. But yeah, you always win. You always Cauldron Ballista with like 60 counters or something like that. And a Hollow One. Oh, it's gonna be tough. Taking 8, and then I Searing Blaze, and we're taking like 9. I guess we probably have to go to game 2. Is Ballista worth a second copy, or is it one more? There's basically no reason to play a second copy, I think. You always find it on the combo loop. You have a lot of dig to just find it naturally. I guess, so what happens if we go Searing Blaze, this... Then they have nothing. We take 3. Maybe I guess I kill the Root Walla because we need to hope they have nothing. So we take 6 down to 5. Then we play a Phlage, kill one of these. Yeah, I think that can keep us alive. Maybe I've miscounted, but if this doesn't work, we don't have many plans anyways. Maybe, you know, we can't afford to get black mana for May. So they play a second Arena of Glory. We need them to have nothing, which they might have. Okay, then 6 down to 5. Then I Phlage up to 8, and then I take 5, and then I can't fetch Shock. And then I can't fetch Shock. So what happens if I play Goblin Guide Eidolon? I guess I just play Goblin Guide and I get a tap land. And then if they have nothing, we can Arena Phlage next turn. 2 cards. They do a lot of stuff. Uh-oh. Looks like a Detective's Phoenix. Which is on the a lot of stuff list. This is also, unfortunately, on the a lot of stuff list. I think there's an argument for second Ballista over one Riddler just because it's an aggressive good card with the Cauldron Prof Sec. The thing is, I think it's like really clear that the Riddler is just better to draw on average than the Ballista, the first copy. But yeah, maybe worth talking about. All right, the Vortex is good against the Root Wallas, and it's good against the Hollow Ones sometimes. I think they can stay in. The 2/2 First Striker is not the worst. I think Eidolon's actually kind of bad. Like, it doesn't stop Hollow One, doesn't stop Ox of Agonis. I do think the Searing Bloods are kind of good. Ragavan kind of bad. But it definitely is nice that you don't mind drawing the... I'm going to mulligan. I really want a Bowmaster. Oh, there's a Bowmaster. 2 Bowmasters. And no Black Swords. It's definitely nice that you don't mind drawing the first Ballista. You will mind drawing the second Ballista a lot, though. All right, let's keep this, although round 4 is about to start. Or round 3 is about to start. Actually, I'm just going to mull the 4, try to find 3 lands Bowmaster, and then... We don't find 3 lands Bowmaster. Yeah, maybe you could board in Wear Tear, yeah. Ballista better against prowess? Maybe. Hardcasting Riddler can be really good too. Even also just like warping Riddler into play and then cauldroning onto it. It's kind of tough for them to like kill that, and you get a big burst of mana. So to me, it's not clear that it's better, but it possibly is. So we may. I'm gonna try to play this one on the second monitor if the if round 3 starts. Okay, I'm gonna try to bait the Bowmaster. Feels crazy Searing Blood. Yeah, you just need them for the Boros matchup. So see if they have a Street Wraith. If they have Street Wraith, we just need to target them, right? Because it's active player, non-active player. Oh, I guess yeah. I'll get to Bowmaster the Mako before it dies, or before I'll kill with the Bowmaster before the counter triggers resolve, right? All right. While our opponent's thinking about their Street Wraith, let's go ahead and go to round 3. We've lost the die roll. I guess I yeah yield to those. It's a burn player's dream. They haven't cast any creatures yet for the Vengevine, so I don't feel like I need to surgical yet. Opponent's not here. We'll just go stay here. Violet with the 27. Glad we decided to mold a 4. Just mold a Bowmaster on the play. They do have a hollow one to cast, although it's smaller than my Orc. Do they have a second hollow one? Thankfully not. Yeah, I'm just going to Bowmaster target them, I think. So they're going to go down to 14, then take another 6 down to 8. And all of the lootings and burning inquiries or lore, they're just locked into being uncastable, and it's going to be very tough for them to get much going without those, especially with me having surgical for Vengevine here. Cool to see Hollow One. I feel like Hollow One is a pretty good deck that sees like no play. Well, that's rough, buddy. So this unlocks some of their 1-drops, but greedy attack. All right, going to game 3. Thank you, Violet, for the 27 months. Thank you. Well, let's keep. My opponent in the challenge still hasn't shown up. The Bowmaster's not going to be as good on the draw. Although they're on a mold of 6. Why not replace the hand hider with my double Q? It doesn't work. Like yeah, and it just doesn't. The view goes away whenever the view goes away. Yeah, we did mold a 4 that game. I guess it could maybe work. All right, I'll just bolt this now. So there's a Rough Tumble gone, there's a Vengevine gone, there's no Hollow One. All that seems pretty good. Yeah, I guess we could capture the other monitor. They did add window capture to Magic Online. Finally, it's possible. I just don't have the scene set up, and I'm not gonna set it up midstream. So they could have another copy of Rough Tumble in their hand. So maybe I play the Roiling Vortex this turn. Maybe I Searing Blaze and hold the Goblin Guide. Yeah, I think I'm gonna Searing Blaze. Just I'll keep that too. To play around Rough Tumble a little bit. Opponent still has not shown up in the challenge. They've been gone for 5 minutes. Two cards in their hand here. They Goblin Lore, 2 Root Wallas, and a Phoenix in the yard, and they get the Vengevine back. So that's pretty gross. Did the round start early? Not particularly. In hindsight bias, maybe we're supposed to cast Roiling Vortex. Maybe, yeah, maybe it would have been a lot better in this spot. I guess I should have let them activate the Root Wallas, maybe. Although maybe I need to Bowmaster them. So if I Bowmaster them, they're down to 7. I attack them for 4 down to 2. That would mean, I guess I don't need to do that for another Bowmaster to be lethal. It means a second Roiling Vortex is lethal or a Searing Blaze is lethal. Compare that to the fact that I have no outs to the Vengevine. Yeah, I think I should just Bowmaster them. Just add Searing Blaze and Vortex as lethal outs. Oh wait, no, sorry, I can't cast the obviously I can't cast Vortex Goblin Guide and another Vortex or a Searing Blaze. So maybe that's not true. I think Searing Blood is now maybe our only out. Yeah, tough one. Alright, I guess if we cast the Vortex, we would have won. Fun match. This deck's looking pretty good. So, no 4-1. Let's see if our opponent has shown up. Our opponent is still not shown up. I think they have 3 minutes.